Hi, my name is Michelle Fitzgerald from the Senzar Learning Center, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of being an empath. If you didn't watch the first video on what is an empath, you might want to take a look at that and learn a little bit more about what is an empath. An empath is a person who's hypersensitive to the feelings and sensations in other people, literally like they are sensations happening in the empath, his or herself. So there's pros and cons of that, of being able to have that kind of sensing capacity. Some of the pros are, I think that I'm an empath since childhood and an intense empath. I've got very, very strong capacities to feel what's going on in people. And emotionally and from a physical pain standpoint, some of the advantages I've found and I've observed other empaths have discovered and would report in their own lives would be deeper understanding of people, just flat out being able to really, really deeply understand what's going on in someone else. And that helps us develop a deeper appreciation for how other people are moving through life, and I think cultivates compassion, which is a wonderful benefit in life, to be able to cultivate strong levels of compassion in yourself and feel that emotion. Empathic abilities can help you with relationships, your close relationships, and even casual relationships, co-workers, that type of thing, but spouses, children, even your pets, how they're feeling, and being able to have a read on that can help you navigate relationships, I think, with much more ease. If there's trouble brewing, you'll sense it emotionally of any type, and you can help then get discussions going and get things up and out on the table long before other people around you might even, your friends, your children, whatever, might even really acknowledge how they're feeling. People are masterful at stuffing feelings, and so an empath will feel how another person is feeling often before they recognize the feeling themselves. So it can be very, very helpful in navigating relationships. It's very, very helpful just in general in attracting to us those amazing emotional experiences that humans are capable in life. Empaths not only can feel what's going on in another person's system, but they have a deep feeling nature about their own system. In my experience, the empaths that I have met in the course of my lifetime, and I would fall into this category too, is the depth that we're able to go with just emotional sensation, how deeply it engages our whole system. And that's really wonderful from a positive standpoint, being able to actually move into emotional states like rapture and deep awe, pure love, those types of things. I think it's easier for empaths to do that than it is for someone who doesn't have that super sensing ability. So that would be another one, just the deep feeling. It's not so fun with the negative deep feelings, but certainly the range of positive feelings that you can access is just incredible. As part of the human experience. Clearing trapped emotions. I talked about this in the first video. I worked professionally for many years with clients, helping them clear out subconscious thought patterns and emotional issues that get caught in the system from past life, present life, stuff going on. And those trapped emotions can lead to all kinds of problems, negative life circumstances, diseases, things like that. And so an empath can feel what's going on in a person. And a lot of times stuff that's really stuffed down there that the person just can't get a handle on, or no modality they try can seem to get to. There's lots of modalities that can help you with trapped emotions, but nothing they try can help them really isolate what's going on. The empath can just feel what's going on, and that can be very, very speedy in getting that stuff, almost like you're a mirror, and that stuff can get up on the surface for them, and they can then clear it out. So that is another big benefit. Another huge one for me is the capacity to feel the emotional states of beings that are not even human, like, for example, trees and certainly animals, but the nature kingdom. For me, one of the wonderful benefits is being in the know, really knowing, not just intellectually surmising that the nature kingdom is highly intelligent, and these are beings that have thoughts and feelings just like us. Not necessarily the same range of feelings, but they have thoughts and feelings just like us. And when you can actually feel that, it becomes a state of knowing, and you're able to then really open your heart to communicating with the nature kingdom. And that's a wonderful, profound experience to be able to establish those relationships with nature and the beings within that kingdom. So those are some of the positive things. What are some of the not so positive things? Number one would be it's not always fun to know what someone else is feeling, especially what they might be feeling about you. So that would be number one. Just generally, you're in this blissful state, you're having a great day, you walk into a room and you can sense that every, two or three people in the room are just in really, yucky moods, and you sense their energies right away before they say anything, do anything, before you see a scowl on their face. You just sense it as you walk in the room, and it for a moment pulls you out of that blissful, harmonious state. You observe it for a moment, and in that observation, there you're at. So it's not always fun to be feeling that stuff, and to be in the know. It can be overload. If you're feeling too much, your whole system will just, if you don't learn how to control that. I've spent decades learning how to control my empathy, how to not be feeling everything, because it can be so overwhelming. And you can miss out on your own life if you're just always engaging and feeling what's going on with everybody else. So overload and distraction from your own center. And the third thing would be, there are other things that are not beneficial about strong empathic skills, but another thing would be it makes the empath is more vulnerable to actual energetic exchanges from other human beings. When we sense someone's emotional state or pains in their body, that's one thing. But humans are actually capable of like photographing other people's, the issues that actually are causing those emotional states. The thought patterns and trapped emotional packages are like things, and they can be photographed. They can be directly transferred sometimes. And when that happens, you own it. It's part of your system. There's no taking your mind off the other person, and oh great, now you're not feeling it. Now it becomes part of you. So I call those energetic exchanges. I've been studying them for about 20 years now, and it's amazing the array of exchanges that happen and how easily with everyone on the planet they happen, but they happen especially easily with empaths. So you're a little bit more vulnerable that way. So what do you do about this? How do you take advantage of all the pros and get to kind of skate around the cons? How do you escape the negatives or minimize the negatives of being an empath? Three brief things I'll talk about here. There are many more, but what are three brief things you can do? One would be to use this symbol here, and I call it shrink wrapping yourself. And there's something about the infinity sign, and you write your name across it. And you do this just holding the intention that that's going to pull your energy field in, pull your light body system in a way. It's not going to harm you in any way, but it's so you won't be mingling so easily with everything and everyone outside of yourself. And that can be very effective. Using just sheer intention, just holding the thought, telling I like to think of my overall operating system as a computer, and I tell my computer, stop it, just stop it. I don't need to know all that information that's going on in everyone unless I ask for the information, unless I consciously want to sense what's going on in someone, then I'd prefer not to just on autopilot be doing that. I'm very mindful of when I start sensing something like in a total stranger, and I'll just very mindfully come back to my center and say, pull my whole attention back, and just becoming mindful that way that you don't need to attend, and when you're attending to it, and just lassoing that aspect of yourself and pulling it back to yourself. That can be very, very powerful. You do that enough, and eventually you really tone down how often you're just on autopilot reading other things that are going on in other people. The third thing you can do is clear subconscious patterning that might have played a role in the cultivation of the empathy in the first place. This isn't the only way that empathic abilities develop, but it certainly can play a role and has played a role in many empaths, and that are trauma events from past life, maybe current life situations. Let's say a child has a abusive parent, and in the early stages of growing up, the child it's fearful. The child is afraid and wants to protect him or herself from future abuses. So the child becomes very good at throwing his or her light bodies, basically sensing capacity, super sensing subtle fields out to tell how the parent is feeling. Is the parent in a rocky mood? Is the parent in an angry state now that leads to that abuse? What's going on with that parent, so the child knows how to position him or herself? The challenge with that is that it's a great skill for helping the child protect him or herself, but those are the old days. I mean, now you're adult, you're 35 or whatever, and there's no danger. You don't need to be doing that. So you can, in fact, it's inhibiting your life to be doing that. So all the time, sensing way too far out and way too many people and the way they're feeling, then you really need to be sensing. So you can get in and clear any kind of subconscious thought patterning that's gotten anchored in the system. So you'll stop doing that when it's inappropriate. So you'll keep your empathic abilities, but you won't be always doing it inappropriately. You'll be doing it when it really serves you. So those are three starter ideas on what you can do to kind of tone down the negative end of empathic capacity. So I hope you enjoyed that program or the presentation today. If you did, give the video a like. I'd appreciate it. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. I produce videos all the time on topics like this. So if you resonate to this kind of stuff, you find it interesting, you'll really like the videos that I produce. And if you want to dive a little bit deeper, visit my website, sedonaportal.com, and you'll see a slide on that with that website address at the end of this video. So thanks for attending today, and I hope this was helpful to you. Talk to you next time.